Hello all you unfortunate looking people. In this guide I will show you how to use the telescopic sight on the Japanese dive bomber D3A1 Val to, well, dive bomb with. Hope you enjoy. So what we are going to look at here is the Val Japanese dive bomber, and what makes this dive bomber special is that you can use a telescopic sight and some guidelines in order to help you dive bomb, and that's what we're going to use today. So first we're going to talk about the dive bomber for a tiny bit, then the sight itself, and then we're going to show you how to use both the bombs on the wings and the center bomb because they have different points of aim. I'm going to show you a little test, and then I'm going to show you some kills I did with this plane in ground RB. So first off, the Val dive bomber itself is sitting at 1.3. It's nothing special, and you only get access to a single bomb load, two 60 kg bombs and a center mounted 250 kg bomb. It's a pretty good plane, and once you drop the bombs it gets very responsive and you can actually go strafing or plane hunting with it afterwards. It also has a rear gunner with a pretty meager light machine gun, which has a pretty slow firing rate, which is a little annoying. Like any other dive bomber, this one comes, as you can see here, with diving brakes, which plays a pretty important role. And the telescopic sight looks like this, and you can access it either by hitting the toggle view keys a couple of times or by getting into the cockpit and then hit the zoom button. So what are we looking at? Well, we are looking at a zoomed in scope with a lot of guidelines and numbers. And from what I'm getting is that 0 is especially at the center and 12 is at the very bottom or the very top, left and right. And we're looking at meters, distance in meters. Or also said another way, this is the height in meters and where you're going to hit or should hit, give or take, if you're dropping the bomb on that particular line at that particular altitude. So I found out that the safest and the best way to use this scope if you're dropping the bombs at around 300 or 400 meters in ground RB. So the bombs on the wings and the bomb on the center line of the plane do not have the same point of aim on the scope. If you want to use the bombs under the wings, you need to use the vertical line number 4. And if you want to use the center line, you need to use the vertical number 8. And again, that is if you drop from a height between 300 or 400 meters and at a diving angle between, I would say, 60 and 75 degrees. And speaking on degrees, as you can see left and right, luckily the game also provides you with degrees of either climb or dive, and here I'm flying straight so it's 0. But as you can see, once you start testing it and the ground RB, you can actually pretty precise see what diving angle you are getting and where to drop. And one last thing about the scope, I promise, is your airspeed. Whenever you dive, you should dive between 300 or 400 kilometers an hour. If you're slower than that, your bombs are going to fall short. Okay, so we are over the Japanese testing ground, test site, whatever you want to call it. My altitude is about 1000 meters, and I don't suggest that you go lower than that initially, otherwise you won't have enough time to properly line up the scope and find the target and right bomb dropping altitude. Right past the wing I'm going into a dive, deploying the dive brakes, and then using the scope, and I am lining up around the 400 meter marker because I want to release around 400 meters, dropping, and let's see, boom. Okay, so as far as I looked or saw, it was actually just to the left and right on the artillery, so the distance was actually perfect, but off to the left and right because of how the wing bombs are placed. And as you can see, those tiny craters from before was from the AI, our AI shooting at the island's defenses, so I'm pretty happy with that one. And once I'm in the ground RB, I'm going to show you some still frames so you can easily see where to aim and where to drop. Okay, and now for the centerline bomb. Now, I found out it is better to give it more time before I actually turn around, so I'm waiting until the target is actually past the plane before I drop my speed and starting the dive and deploying the dive brakes. So I found out that the center bomb likes a more shallow diving angle, so that's why I waited with turning around and starting the dive. And I'm lining up with the 800 marker and trying to drop at 400 meters. Boom. Okay, that was almost directly on top of that bunker. So I think we can say that the theory kind of works. And now off to ground up E. Okay, we are on Ash River. Now I was just in the Shia shotgun and I took Bravo and I got a couple of kills and then I got murdered on Bravo. So I knew there was gonna be somebody up there. So I'm waiting, and once I'm past the wing, I'm dropping my speed, turning around, deploying my dive brakes, using the scope, and lining up with number 4, and I am stopping right here. I was pretty happy with the diving angle also, 70 degrees, that's just fine. And number 4 would be smack on the middle with the bombs on the wings, and number 8 should more or less be where the 250 would hit. And boom, I actually got a double kill out of it, because there was another guy at BT7 I never saw. So as you can see here, derp gun moving up, and there comes the other guy out of the shadow. And they pretty much landed directly on that white line. On to kill number 3. I was kind of scanning after targets. I had just been home and got a new bomb load again. And I was scanning for targets. I was trying to fly over their spawn because I thought there would be some anti-aircraft down there, and whoop, lo and behold. So I'm waiting until I'm a little past over the wing, dropping my speed, turning around, deploying my dive brakes, and trying to acquire the main area, then using the scope. And looking for the number 4. I was a little bit off. As you can see here, I threw the bomb was a little off. The diving angle was fine, 60 degrees, so that was perfect. So one of the bombs should hit around number 2, so that would be around the middle of the vehicle, give or take. And I got a kill, and let's see that from another angle again. So I hesitated and got a little low because he was not standing still. So he basically hit a little off to the right side where the number 2 wing bomb would hit. And for the last kill, I had turned around, scanning again. I saw there was a target down there in the riverbed, but I didn't think that he would survive, given that he was surrounded by teammates. So I was looking for something else. Saw that Charlie was being decapped. And of course I also know that he was going to be on their side of Charlie, on their side of the rock. Because it was a bigger bomb, I waited a little longer before turning around, dropping my speed, deploying diving brakes. And again I was using number 8. Still picture, again I was a little off. I was about a 65-70 degrees dive, which is fine. And I knew he was not going to get away because it was a 250 kilogram bomb. And it has a larger range of destruction with the fragments also. And yep, I did expect that though. And if you look at it, it landed actually right behind him. Okay, that was it for this little guide. Now do me a favor and try comment if you are going to try use this plane and using the scope for dive bombing, and do let me know how you fare and if you could use what I just showed you. If you like the content I make, do me a solid and subscribe, like or comment. I've added some links in the video description below, both for other relevant videos on the channel, but also for other ways for you guys to more directly support the channel if you wish to do so. Thank you for watching. And until next time, remember to deploy your dive brakes. Have a good one.